second forgot I was preaching. I was meeting these beautiful women over here, and I'm like, why is the room getting weird and sitting down and getting quiet? And then I thought, who's preaching today? And then I was like, it's you. If that tells you anything about how busy the week has been. We started school. My daughter turned 11 yesterday. We had, yeah, go Jovi. Whew. Guys, I wore a dress that I can't high kick in. It literally has a tie. I'm restricted from high kicks. If you know, sometimes I high kick while I preach. Not today, not today. We had 2 soccer tournaments, one in Boulder and one in Aurora in the city this weekend, you know. Woo, 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 woo. I feel like an air traffic controller as the school year is starting already. I'm sending my husband, I'm sending my children, and then I'm trying to send myself. And today I'm on the stage with you. And I'm really, really excited to be here. If you're new with us, I say this every time. If I haven't met you, I really do mean it. I love people so much that I get distracted in meeting people and forget where I am. And so come and meet me today, please, please, please. We're so glad you're here. We started a series on Romans. Do you guys remember this series? It was like 3 months long. For our church, that's really, really long. And it was dense, and it was like rich, and we wrote songs to go with memory verses, and it was one of my favorites. But we're gonna do something a little different now. As you can see, we're in a summer song series. Now, just because school started, guys, summer doesn't technically end, thank the Lord, still trying to go to the pool, until September 22nd. So don't think like, hey, it's fall now. It's not fall. It's still 100 degrees outside. I thought I was gonna fry alive yesterday on the turf field. It was awful. So it's still summer. It's still summer. And we're gonna take a look at some songs that culture is singing. Now, before you send me an email about heresy, or like that song's offensive, or can I just tell you why this could be important? Good. You say yes, Anabeth. Yes. Whew, you're here. Wake up. It's because for thousands and thousands of years, if you look at history, the way people studied people groups, different cultures, was to listen to the songs that they sang. Songs tell us so much about culture. They can tell us things like what people think the good life is, what they're afraid of, what they think is wrong with them. That's deep. They also can tell us what they think might save them. All sorts of things. Songs usually give us a picture of what the world is saying. Hey, this would make me happy if I had fill in the blank. And so this is really important. And what's even better about it is that popular music is probably the place of honesty that we find in our culture. I mean, we have politics persuading us. We have social media telling you I look better than I really am. Thanks. I wasn't fishing for that, but I'll take it. No, but social media is kind of a lie. It's all performance driven. We have advertisements. All they do is try to get you to buy something. But what you find with songwriters is their whole goal is usually to say, this is what it feels like to be alive right now. They're one of the most honest groups of people. Now, I'm about to say something really intense. Again, no emails, please. I may describe some of our songwriters in our culture as prophetic. I don't mean literally. I don't mean that today Olivia Rodrigo got a word from the Lord and she was inspired to write the song The Cure. That's not what I'm saying. But what I may be saying is culturally she's noticed something and she's giving language to what millions of people feel every day. That's prophetic. That may mean that this is important for us to learn about. Paul is our greatest example of looking at culture and different worldviews in order to do some things. Let's look at it. Paul shows up in the book of Acts. He's going to Athens, Greece. You guys, Paul's a Jew. Athens, Greece is a very different place. They have no worldview like him. They don't even worship the same gods as him. And he's showing up on the scene. And let's look at the chapter 17, verse 23, because we need to notice some things that Paul does right away. For as I walked around and looked carefully at your objects of worship, important phrase here, looked carefully. What is Paul doing? He's on purpose getting into their culture and seeing what they worship and why they worship it. And then it gets even more intense than that. Just 5 verses later, we're going to see that he's actually studying what they know. He knows their literature so well that he quotes it 5 verses later. Verse 28 says, "For in him we live and move and have our being." Here's where it is. "As some of your own poets have said, we are his offspring." Paul is quoting the poets of his day. Why is he doing this? Well, I think it's really interesting because he is taking something that is so familiar with Athenian culture that they would understand in order to build a bridge to Jesus and the truth of the Creator God and the bigger story, and telling them this is where you find life with Jesus. If he doesn't pay attention to their culture, he only knows the Christian way, his own Jewish understanding, and people may come to him in Athens and ask him questions about life, and he answers with Christianese, and they don't have a clue what he's talking about. Do you know what I'm saying? Paul's modeling for us, if he was willing in the Bible to know the poets of the Athenian people, even biblical commentators are like, this is so important. He used their own traditions to build the bridge to get to Jesus. Why would we not take time to listen to our poets of today? The things our kids are singing, the things our whole world is going, we like this, and it's in our car, and it's in our grocery stores, and we're inundated with it. So we're going to follow Paul's example today. We're going to hopefully listen carefully. Could we, followers of Jesus, become the best listeners? Notice I didn't say imitators. I didn't say listen and then be like the world. But we got to know what they want to know. We got to look at the things that they're looking at. I mean, how many of you have had now it's okay, you can confess. It's just us here. It's just us. Safe space, safe space, safe space. How many of you have heard a secular song that you went, that's exactly what I'm living through right now? Just raise your hand. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Sinners. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, y'all. That was my Baptist roots coming out. Me too. Me too. So it's really important that we notice what culture's noticing. It's also really, really important that we ask appropriate questions. So let me just talk to the parents in the room right now. I have done this so much already with, especially having a now middle schooler. Jesus have mercy. She started middle school this week. Whew. Guys, how many times have you just said, you're going, is that song appropriate? Should my kid be listening to that song? It's bad or it's good. Could we have a different tool as parents when it comes to this sort of thing? Instead of saying, it's not a bad question, I get it. Like if a song has enough bad words in it and says dirty, 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 dirty things, I may not want my kid to take it in, right? But instead of only having that lens of, is this bad or is this good? Is this appropriate or inappropriate? Could we ask a different question? What story is this song teaching my kid about being a human being? Maybe you're asking things like, what does this song say about love? Does it have anything to say about sex? What does it say happiness is? Does it say something's going to heal me? What does it say I should do when I'm hurt? I mean, I have songs for every one of these questions. That's why they're in my list. I'm like, I know this song says this about this, and this song. There's some songs that tell you just go kill people if you're hurt. Probably not the best answer. Guys, do you see the difference? The difference, parents, when I'm doing this is these are discernment questions. They're not giving your kid the right and the wrong answer. Your kid is going to have to figure this stuff out. So why not have a little different lens, like what story about being a human is this song telling me? And then the next question, well, what does the Bible have to say about that story? Man, that really empowers. Now, thank you, parents, for tuning in. All of us, what Paul shows is if we do this work of discernment around what the culture is trying to figure out, linked to maybe am I trying to figure out the same thing that my friend over here is who doesn't have my faith? Turns out, yeah, because we're all human most of the time. But I also want to know because I want to lead them to Jesus. This is a huge tool that Paul used to lead people to Jesus, knowing the soup they were in. That could all benefit us. I have a ton of people. I was just praying as the school year started. I just had some folks come to mind. I'm like, God, if they walked into our church this fall, I couldn't get through the service because I've been praying for that family for a long time to come to you. God, if this friend of Jovi's starts to wanting to go to the youth group with her, it'll just make the whole fall worth it. You know, these sort of things are informing my heart because I want everybody to know Jesus the way that I do. So, those two questions, get them in your brain. What story am I being told about being human? And what does the Bible have to say about it? Because we're about to listen to our modern day poet, Olivia Rodrigo, who wrote the song The Cure. If you hate pop music, so sorry. This is as poppy as pop gets. So we're going to listen, and then we're going to come back and I'll finish. Stream, and I've listened to that song a lot this week, guys. Whew. Okay, Olivia has noticed something. Let me give you a little snapshot if you're like, I don't know, I don't listen to these songs and just the music turned off my whole brain. Sorry, not sorry. Let me tell you the snapshot of this song. It's entirely built around a medical imagery, right? She's talking about an antidote. She does talk about something poisoning her. And then she talks about love feeling like medication. And eventually she reaches this conclusion that it'll never be the cure. That's the whole song. Sorry you had to listen to 3.5 minutes if you didn't like it. Just so you know though, this morning we had a group of people that are serving and we do this little feel and focus thing. And someone Ben was saying like, this is the new sermon series. And he said, we're doing Olivia Rodrigo's The Cure. And this sweet little girl, who I think is in 4th grade, immediately goes, and my head is full of poison, and she starts singing the song. And I was like, I literally just stopped him. I go, that's why we're doing this sermon series. People are singing this song. And whether she knows what it means, it's in her. And eventually those meanings she's smart. We're all smart enough to get these lyrics in us and figure out what they're saying to us. We're not just doing this for parents in the room. Adults are singing this song. We're filling stadiums for Olivia Rodrigo and cheering as if she's worshiping and going, oh, I'm unraveled. That's a terrible lyric. Ugh. She's saying that like she's dying, not like, yeah. She's like, I am undone inside because I'm in my room at night, lonely like I'm on the moon, and I don't know what's going on. All right. What's really interesting though, guys, a lot of love songs, it's like, you don't love me and I'm sad because you're not loving me. She actually says, hey, your love is trying to be medication for me. She's saying something even deeper here. One magazine described it as Rodrigo recognizing that romantic love is not a quick fix for deeper struggles. I liked that. I agreed. Rodrigo herself says, hey, this song is reflecting a much more mature perspective on relationship. That's why I wrote it. And honestly, guys, I think that she's diagnosed something super important about our culture. She's basically said, we're asking romantic love to become therapeutic salvation for our lives. We've asked romantic love to become therapeutic salvation. We don't merely just need someone to love us. We want them to heal us. We want them to be our best friend. They must be everything to us. And this is where we get to turn to the Bible in the book of Psalms, which if you don't know, those are also songs. And we may find another song that's written about what can cure us. David, we read it during worship. Heather did a great job. Psalm 63, it starts with this, verse 1. You, God, are my God. Earnestly I seek you. I thirst for you. My whole being longs for you. In a dry and parched land where there is no water. Now, what you may not know is before the verse starts, there's a little superscription, and it says this, a psalm of David when he was in the desert of Judah. That's important. Why? Well, it tells you the kind of state David's in. And we don't know definitively. There's two options. Biblical scholars would say Psalm 63 was either written when David, before he became king, maybe he was in the wilderness fleeing from Saul. but many believe it's post. It's David's already become king. They believe this because we didn't read the very last few verses, but verse 11 of Psalm 63 talks about the king, and they say this is big evidence that David was already a king. So that means that David is in the wilderness because Absalom has rebelled against him. So we're going to go with that picture. Absalom has rebelled against David. Oh, it won't let me turn it off because it's not my phone. How in the world? I love this so much. We're just going to put this in my pocket. That was awesome. What was I saying? Okay, Absalom's rebellion. I'm back. Wow, that really threw me off. I was like, this is coming from the stage. Yes, Lord. No, so guys, we're gonna go with the commentators because 3/4 of them are saying it's post. David's become king. Absalom has rebelled. Why is this such a big deal? Well, it tells you the kind of state he's in. If it's that story, if this psalm is referring to when David's own son. So if you don't know, Absalom isn't just some rando guy trying to take over. It's his own son. So we're going to look in 2 Samuel real quick to look at the state of David. 2 Samuel chapter 15, verse 30. It says this, David continued up the Mount of Olives, weeping as he went. His head was covered and he was barefoot. Guys, David was in a bad way. The man didn't have shoes on. He's weeping. His head's covered. He has lost everything. His own son. He's had to leave the kingdom that he's ruling in Jerusalem. He lost his sense of power and authority. He's probably lost his sense of what the future holds. He has lost everything. And so if this is the place in which David wrote Psalm 63, what's really interesting about that is as every part of David's life that maybe would have given him a sense of, I'm okay, I have a good foundation, my family's good, my job's good, I got friends, it's good, it's good, it's good. All of that's been taken away. And David comes to a really interesting discovery. He's thirsty. He's thirsty. Olivia and David, side by side in their songs, it says, Olivia Rodrigo says, there's something inside of me that your love isn't fixing. David says, I thirst for you, my whole being longs for you. This is our first major comparison between these two songs. Both songs begin with an ache. Olivia has an ache, David has an ache. We have an ache. It's not a matter of if you're thirsty. It's a matter of where do you take that thirst? Where do you find satisfaction? You see, you're all thirsty because God designed you as humans. There's these deep longings inside of you. Things like, I need to be known. I need to be loved. I need to know my life matters. I want to know that I'm enough. I want to be chosen. Every one of us, you have these desires in you. Some are more prevalent than others, depending on your life stage, but you are hardwired, designed with these sort of desires in you. You're all aching for something. You're all aching for something. Our culture has taken all those things I just said, like I need to be loved, I need to be known, I need to have a life that matters, I need all the deepest essential human desires. They put them under one umbrella, and the culture says all you have to do is find your person. Find your person, and guess what? When you find that person, you gave them the job. They are now responsible for your love life, to be your best friend, to be the person that heals you, to be your counselor, sometimes to be your financial advisor. Whew. A lot of marriages end because of finances, just saying. You've asked one human being, one version of love, one romantic relationship to fill every need you have. That is an impossible, heavy. I mean, even when I describe it, my body's just like, I can't do all those things for Kyle Morgan. That's my husband. I can't be all those things for Jovi and Miles Morgan. Those are my kids. I can't fulfill those things for the people in this church as a pastor. I can't heal you. It's too heavy. It's too much. It's too much responsibility. Guys, here's the truth. Love can be so good, especially when it's not God. Love is so good without being God. Let it go in. Even now, say it to yourself. Love can be good without being God. We're going to put the songs directly side by side again. Olivia's conclusion about love is, it'll never be the cure. David's discovery about love is found in verse 3. It says this, because your love is better than life, my lips will glorify you. You see, Olivia is seeing human love as insufficient. I told you, these songs, guys, usually have, that's why it's prophetic, they have a little truth in them. But then they also have untruth, right? That's where the story, the question about what does the Bible say about this story is important. Is what this artist saying is true, fully true? This is where it's true. Olivia Rodrigo is saying human love is insufficient for me. It's medication, it helps, but it's not curing the deep turmoil on the inside of me. David's conclusion in this little verse is that God's love is ultimate. Now, even with God's love ultimate, I think as Christians we have to be careful, because a lot of times what we come to the world with is this sort of answer. Olivia, you don't need people at all. All you need is God. Boo, hiss, boo. Boo, hiss, boo. Why? Well, it turns out God created us for a relationship with one another. She does need some people in her life. She needs friends. She needs her family. She needs marriage if God intended that for her life. She also, romance matters. Falling in love is amazing. I wish I could tell you all the stories of Kyle and I falling in love. Ooh. That's why I'm still married to him. It's awesome. I'm just kidding, everyone. That was a joke. No one laughed. Okay, anyway, sorry. Wow, I must have really had you or you're bored. Anyway, Lord Jesus, help wake them up. No, guys, community matters. Like you showed up here today, hopefully because you value community in the church of God and being together. Like God never said, hey, only me and no one else. Can I tell you that was one of the most painful places of my childhood? Was my mom saying all the time, anytime someone hurt me or bullied me or did anything to hurt me, she would literally look me in the eyes and go, honey, you can't trust any human being. You don't need them. All you need is God. Do you know what that created in me? Loneliness and self-sufficiency that makes me driven to this very day. I am not blaming my mother. She was only taught what she was taught. This is just what church people say when they don't discern what's actually going on. I love my mom. I'm in great relationship to her. But that was really painful for me because I do believe that we're made for one another. I do believe that love matters. But you can't place it all on one person. It can all be medication. What does medication look like? Well, your spouse can be a huge source of comfort for you. Your friends can carry you through hard times. My parents can encourage me. Your girlfriend or boyfriend can speak life-giving words over you. A counselor can help a process of healing for you. A community can hold you. I mean, how many times has this community held me through death, through illness? Like, you guys have held me so many times. All good things, all feeling like medication. When I have a headache, ibuprofen is my friend. But not the cure, not the whole center, not the source of love, not the place I go to when I'm thirsting and desiring something. That's different. All of that weight got bore on God, who says, I am love. He bears the weight of it. He's not saying don't have relationship. He's saying, hey, put me in the center of every relationship that you have. Start in the morning with me so that you don't spend the rest of your day trying to figure out who you are from others. And gosh, let me be God. Don't look at your spouse or the person you're dating and go, I need you to be all these things. It will crush the relationship and that relationship will end. I get in the biggest fights with Kyle when I need him to be a friend to me in a way that I'm just kind of lonely. When I go to Kyle and I pick a fight with him, I'm like, you're not hanging out with me enough. I did this in our early marriage. I was a jerk. He was in med school, and I'm like feeling lonely, and instead of going, I need friends, I'm like, Kyle needs to be more of a friend than me. Thank God he stayed married to me. Y'all, I have done this. I speak from a place of knowing what it's like to put too much pressure on friends. Putting too much pressure now on my kids. Can I just be honest with you? Jovi and Miles, they need to behave a certain way and do life a certain way and play sports a certain way because it says something about me. Really, it does. That means I've put my kids in a place of God's love. He was meant to bear the weight and tell me my identity isn't what I do, it's just in being with him. That's what this song is teaching us today. Olivia Rodrigo had things to say to us. Turns out. What is she saying? Well, she's basically saying, hey, your love is good. It's like medication. But maybe there's something more for me. Now, she's also been interviewed saying like, so you just kind of got to heal yourself. So like if my daughter and I are going to talk about this song, because Jovi's like, I love this. And my head is full of fire. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, honey, what do you think this song, what is the cure? What do you think heals us? Oh man, I hope I'm raising a daughter that would say Jesus. I go to Jesus when I need healing. You know, I start there. Because what I don't want her doing is it's all up to me. I got to heal myself. That's the untruth. That's where Olivia hasn't found life with God yet. That's where if I was sitting at coffee with that sweet poet, I would go, you notice something, girlfriend. Thank you for naming in our culture how we idolize all this version of love when, and this is the bridge. Can I tell you that what I believe is that God is love? Can I pull out 1 Corinthians 13 and tell you that because God is love, it means that he's patient and kind. He keeps no records of wrongs. He isn't envious. He can bear the weight of all those things. Do you know that God loves you in your most unattractive when you failed states of being? I'll be honest. When I really mess up in our marriage and I tick off my husband, he doesn't necessarily want to be around me in that moment. God is like, come to me. I will never not receive you in any state you're in. Again, the center of my marriage, the center of my relationship to my kids, the center of my friendships, the center. So don't tell people they don't need people and they just need God, okay? Tell them, hey, this relationship has too much weight bared on it. You've put too much on this person. Or you get to look at your spouse today and go, hey, I love you. I can't be your best friend. Let's help you find some friends because I don't like football. I don't know, I just made that up. You know what I mean? I don't like watching golf. Holy crap, I don't like watching golf. I want to play golf. I don't want to watch it, Kyle. Find a friend. Now she's preaching. Now she's preaching. Hey, to the younger folks in the room, you're like, I'm not married, girl. Can I tell you the most powerful thing you can say to somebody you date when you're in the relationship? Or maybe you just say this in your heart. You're looking across this relationship you've been in and you're thinking, I don't need you to fulfill every insecurity I'm bringing into this dating relationship. I find every bit of security in the Lord. And then I don't have to hope you say the right thing to me today so that we can keep dating. That's so much pressure. Do you hear me, church? Let God's love be the center of every relationship, and then you get an ecosystem of love. When you put him at the center, you get God, and then you get friendship, and you get church, and you get counseling relationships and mentoring relationships. I love mentoring people. That's why I'm a pastor. You get all these beautiful expressions of love, but you started with God. And none of those other relationships are bearing too much weight. That is what Olivia Rodrigo taught us today. Thank you, Olivia, for writing The Cure so that we can identify with the most life-giving form of love. can I just say the one scripture? I'm going to end here. David in Psalm 63 verse 8, he says, I cling to you and your right hand upholds me. Why does he say that? Because he has learned to take those desires that we talked about we all have and thirst. And he goes, I run to the Lord and I grab a hold of him. I seek God when I'm thirsty. And this little phrase of your right hand upholds me, we don't have time to lay it out, but here it is. This is the expression of even before David asked for God's love, God's right foundational hand is there from the get-go, in control of everything, offering grace. That's why we sing the song, you're more than enough, your grace is enough. It's always been there, even before David chose to run to God to cling to him. He's already there asking you, please put all the weight of your life on me. Say yes to me today. Some of you, maybe you've never said yes to the Lord today. Today's your day. Say yes to the Lord. Receive his love and see that he can bear the weight. And then let him grow and lead you in all these relationships around you. Let him be in every area of your life. It's fuller that way. It's exactly how it was designed to be. Oh, I love preaching. Anyway, I'm going to stop there so that we can move into ministry time.